Hey, Mark Jones, Managing Director of Your Digital Solution, here with Blake Bath.
Yep, from Real Bytes, National Operations Vendor, everything IT. What are we here today to talk about, Jonesy?
Blake, today we're talking about a really interesting topic, and that is crisis management. So when something goes wrong, yes, and when the X hits the fan, what are we going to do about that, and how do we manage and respond with that best? So in your world, some of those examples are a data breach, a loss of privacy. In my world, it could be as simple as if you're a school, you could have an upset parent going to town on your socials.
They work hand in hand. Often in a data breach situation, the marketing and the messaging and the PR has to be right for these organisations, especially in like schools and everything. Like, it's so important to get the right messaging out at the right time too.
Yeah, and being on the front foot, often that starts with listening. So a lot of people aren't even active on their own socials. Yep. So they don't know for some time that there's a storm brewing.
We see it time in, time out, and bad in the comment section, people having all kinds, and it's too little too late once it's there. Right?
Yeah. You mentioned on their own site. We also see this on Reddit, Glassdoor, other platforms also. There's actually no ability for many businesses to listen to what's actually happening.
Google reviews is one that I always come back to, that even me as a consumer, we go, look, and there's some bad reviews 100%. That you can't get rid of it.
Yeah. And there's serial pests in there.
There are.
I might even touch on that. Google reviews, a lot of businesses struggle with this. You can ask for misrepresented reviews to be removed. If anyone has any trouble with that, please feel free to reach out and ask. But when a crisis really hits, what are some of the things you would do on the IT side of things that would help people move through?
I guess I'll talk openly here in an IT event. First thing we need is time. We always need more time to assess and work backwards. But the first thing I'm going to do as an IT professional, make sure the bloody backup's there. Right. And not only just there, but that we've got it and it's not connected to everything. Yeah. That's the absolute first thing before we even worry about stopping anything. So easy to restore than it is to fix. So.
Yeah. So in your business continuity work, and for the office professionals listening, is the homework to let's pretend it happened right now.
Right now, we're sitting here.
Right now, gone. Where do you go? Who do you talk to? Yep. What should they have to hand?
Where is your data stored? Where's your backup of your data stored? And whose responsibility is it to go and deal with that? They're the three big ones we deal with in a crisis straight away. In
a typical business, we're talking about schools. Let's say in a school, how much downtime should a school expect to have in a year? And if they were to have a major system failure, let's say complete loss of internet or complete loss of data store, how long should they expect to be out for?
If they're prepared, 1 to 2 days. Okay. And that's actually a piece of their compliance requirement. They need to do roles and marking every day. If we're in the middle of assessments, NAP plan stuff, there's no lenience there. It's got to be back straight away. We're seeing, when we've had to go in and fix these in the past from other providers, 3 to 5 days. That's a big worry for a school to be out. That's not good. So teaching and learning is their core thing. And if students can't rock up to learn, well, what's the point in having the lights on, right?
Yeah, wow. In the marketing side of things, what we see is when an issue blows up, and there might even be, parents are coming to pick up the kids, and there's TV vans out the front of the school.
How worrying would that be?
What the hell's going on, right? And social media channels play a massive role in getting the word out quite quickly. I know we have email and text message as well, but if those very systems are down, you often still have access to your social channels. They actually come through in being able to help. If the issue's from one of those channels, so you've got someone actually taking pot shots at the school, or you've got some, it can be any number of bad behaviours that various actors could pull through. I think the first one is we want someone of leadership to show empathy and understanding, and that normally comes back to things like values and vision of the organisation, so knowing what we stand for, what we don't stand for, and then having empathy that whatever's occurred is a transgression against those agreed sort of standards.
And I know it sounds weird, but all of this should be planned, because we've now lived in this real world for a long time, and this stuff does happen. Yeah. And if you think it's not going to happen to you, well, chances are it might just one day. So have a plan in place. Have your marketing and PR plan, your disaster recovery IT plan. I think planning prevents piss poor performance, which is a wonderful saying I learned a long time ago.
Absolutely. I like Yogi Berra. He's a baseball coach. He says, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Absolutely.
So getting this stuff ready to go, absolutely important. The other thing I think is when an event occurs that is exposing the brand, being transparent to the extent you can. I know that's an easy thing to say, but there's also, as incidents and events unfold, there's only so much you can share. Like in my area in this last weekend, 3 kids went missing. Now, the police aren't able to say everything that's going on, but they're able to say enough to enlist people's support in helping find those children again. But of course, and we'll never know the full backstory, and that's fine, none of our business. But being transparent about something is happening, we're onto it, and if you know anything about it, can you let us know? It enlists people to support you.
And in a school and a business, that's that reputational risk protection up front. And, because we are talking to business and office professionals and school professionals, you as a business have a reputational risk. You need to take that seriously, right?
Yeah. Now, I think you've got a couple of examples, or even one at least, without mentioning any names, where in IT and when there are these data breaches, a little bit of sweeping under the carpet happens from time to time, doesn't it? But aren't there pretty clear reporting obligations now?
There are.
Privacy
I'm actually quite open. We've had to go in both sides. So, like any growing IT company over the years, some of our customers have been breached and we've done better and fixed it up since then. And we talk openly about this because it empowers people. And the reverse, we've had to go in and audit for cyber insurance for other people.
Right.
There are very clear, very defined things now. Direct jail time for directors for negligence, direct corporate, not civil liberty penalties, multi-million-dollar penalties from the government, and then loss of trade. They will just shut a business down now. And it's not a joke anymore, unfortunately. And then that ongoing, we live in social media land now. If something happens, that will follow that person for ages. So it's a scary.
Something we see about reputation also is the Australian common law has caught up, where there was a great case on the Gold Coast amongst bridal services businesses, I think it was, and the owners of one competing bridal service business was attacking another.
I did see this.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I did.
They were attacking the other, but they'd never been customers of it. They were pretending to be customers. And it had a very real impact on their business. We've had a client of our business who had an adverse event with one of their patients in an allied health service, and that patient, albeit receiving appropriate care, got a group of people together who were then bringing down that other party reputationally online, and they literally halved their business.
And it's a court thing now. It's not a muck around.
That's right. And those people making those false claims were absolutely in breach and at risk of libel and defamatory actions.
It's crazy.
So it's the real world is online when it comes to these.
Yeah, we don't live in the real world anymore.
Totally.
It's what's on our phones and our tablets. It's all.
And so if that was to happen to a business, one of the other things is when we're responding to these PR crises, making sure that when we are coming back to the community or enlisting or involving or informing people, we're actually using a senior person in the organisation. We're using expertise who can represent fully the organisation without, palming that off or hiding.
Yeah, that figurehead that actually has the authority to say what they're saying.
Yeah. We see this with airline disasters, where you see the actual, chairman of the board.
Richard Branson's up there. Not that
Yeah, Richard, if you're listening, we know you haven't had an airline disaster. And the last one, of course, is making a commitment to resolve it and to put steps in place to ensure it doesn't happen again. What are those things in the IT side of the world that you would make sure if someone's had a breach, I guess it's just putting the appropriate things back in place thereafter to
absolutely.
It.
And it's an investigation, and no one's at fault. A lot of the time, these small mom and pop businesses have no better, or in a school's instance, it might be a malicious student or something you can't protect from. But it's learning. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And then doing better to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's actually a part of what we've been doing a lot with cyber insurance recently. When we've gone through and checked customers, and they've said they're going to do something and they don't, they're in trouble. But if they said they're going to do something and they do it, it's like, well, you've tried, and that's all they can ask.
They're mitigating those risks occurring again. So proactively checking it up front before you've had the incident.
Absolutely.
It's a matter of when, not if.
Yep.
And then making sure we've got a plan in place for recovery.
And then clear communication. Yeah. Be honest, be open.
Yeah, great.
Jonesy, what can a customer do if they do have a poor Google review? You know, often we see someone's left a malicious comment on Google or Facebook. What's something they can do?
Yeah. You know, the number one thing is to respond.
Is it?
Absolutely, to respond. There's nothing worse than, and we've been guilty of this actually. We left one for a little while, and then it sort of got forgotten about, and then we came back to it, and it felt like it was so old we shouldn't have said anything. And in the end, maybe 18 months later, we thought, oh, bugger it, we'll just say something. You know, went back and put a response in there. But if it's something where it's a bit of a misunderstanding, there's something, you know, where you'd expect a reasonable person not to have said that. Oftentimes, you know, my mum used to always say, you know, an angry person's a hurt person.
Yeah.
So if the boss or someone can step in and go, listen, what's actually happened here?
Yeah.
And can we remedy that in any way?
Empathise, understand.
Yeah, it's a nice way to just get that human involved to maybe take down that negative comment. But, you know, if you're a cafe or someone and people are commonly complaining about cold garlic bread or something, everyone can move past that. But it's when you get those real flamers where someone's really had a good chop at you for something.
So as a business manager and office manager, you should actually not just ignore that. You should go and interact with
Definitely
that.
don't ignore. You provide a response also that isn't overreaching and countering or attacking back. There's a real
factual
art to demonstrating that you've heard the complaint, highlighting if you've made any remedial action in the moment. Hey, Blake, sorry you had a terrible experience with us, but we hope that the voucher we gave you on the day was remedy enough, and we hope to see you again. It's just that real kind of close it out. We tried to help you. Other people reading that negative review just want to see that you're a reasonable proprietor. Everyone knows that every business is going to have complaints from time to time.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah, but it can't be every other review.
Yep.
If you still can't get rid of it, then we would work hard to wash it out or reduce the impact of it.
And that's by getting good reviews and positive stuff in.
Yeah. And good businesses make it just part of their customer service journey. Every customer who gets a reasonable experience and at the right time in the customer journey is asked for a review.
Yeah, so these like office professionals in schools should be asking their families and to go and leave good reviews for their businesses.
Well, to be honest, I'm going to correct that a little. They should be asking customers. So if their families are members, are customers of the business, absolutely. But you actually should be seeking reviews from real customers. And in some businesses, that's tough. If you're a family lawyer, no one actually wants to leave reviews for family law, so it is actually quite difficult because no one wants to tell everyone they just went to a family lawyer, right? And so that's kind of tricky. Health is another category that's quite tricky without giving any particular examples. But in general business practice, accountants, you know, pretty benign, safe industries where we're all happy to say we've got an accountant and you know, they do a great job for me.
My accountant's better than yours, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's, you know, wizard rings at dawn. People are happy to say that they had a good experience.
Yep.
And especially when they're, you know, for the professional services, people have a relationship with the service provider. You become quite friendly over time. Perfectly appropriate to ask for a review. But in most cases, people just don't ask. And if you ask, you often will get one.